Hello there, cinema lovers!
Welcome to FilmStorm.
And it's a real film storm, because today we're taking a look at Gareth Edwards' latest film, The Creator, which is surrounded by both waves of criticism and favourable opinions. What does The Creator have to offer? What could have been improved? And where did Gareth Edwards fail completely? The answers to these questions are coming up.
Take care of her.
I promise. Seatbelts.
Let us first clarify an issue that many film critics seem to ignore. Gareth Edwards does not belong to the pantheon of movie maker gods, and therefore he has not yet and may never get the codename 00, that is, the license for fully experimental high-budget films, such as 001 Tarantino, 002 Spielberg, or 003 Ridley Scott, etc. As long as Gareth Edwards does not have the license, he has to make concessions, that is, do something that simply sells well, or work hard to push his ideas. Nevertheless, he managed to include some brilliant concepts in The Creator.
The film, with a budget of $80 million, looks like a production twice as expensive. Despite its smaller budget, The Creator looks just as beautiful as Edwards' previous film, Rogue One. Moreover, the locations in The Creator are teeming with life and interpersonal affairs, and that's due to the fact that most of the outdoor scenes were filmed not on a green screen, but on location, in places such as Vietnam, Cambodia, Nepal, Japan, Indonesia, or Thailand. However, we must admit that in the represented world, the filmmakers have neglected many interesting threads. Showing artificial intelligence, here called dissimulants, as a religious community is so interesting that it should entail something more. For example, more information on that subject, showing their culture, customs, or even the art of simulants. All this would have allowed viewers to experience even greater immersion and added diversity to the production.
You might ask what the director should base this diversity on, and how he would make it original in a full-length film that cannot go on forever. Well, the answer is das Unheimliche, also known as the Uncanny. What is the Uncanny? It is a sublime and highly aesthetic type of fear, first explored psychologically by Ernst Jentsch, and then elaborated on and developed by, among others, Sigmund Freud. The uncanny is a feeling of anxiety or fear associated with something that is at the same time well known to us, familiar, and alien and disturbing to our sense of peace. The creator often evokes the feeling of uncanniness and does it quite well, but if the experience of this feeling were even more refined, the film would have benefited greatly from it.
Yes, The Creator has huge potential to explore the uncanny. Nirmata, which translates into the titular creator in the culture of Hinduism, creates simulants first as a father, then as a mother, in his or her own image and likeness, and is convinced that their humanity is on the same level as the humanity of people. Moreover, Nirmata, the mother, loves and protects both her human child and her constructed robotic children, and is willing to sacrifice her life for them. This devotion, this purely human approach to machines, creates fertile ground for experiencing the uncanny. Furthermore, when we see a Buddhist temple where simulants profess peace, believe in reincarnation, and where the walls are decorated with statues of robots, like statues of saints, we automatically want to see more of this kind of expansion of the represented world, including traditions, culture, or art of simulants. Especially since there is so much talk now about the crisis of human creativity and the disappearance of particular professions due to artificial intelligence.
Of course, at this point one can also make the simplest suggested religious analysis. Nirmata as God, the Father, the successor of Nirmata as the mother and a synonym of Moses, who is to lead robots out of the house of slavery, Joshua like the biblical helper of Moses, as a leader who is to complete Nirmata's work. In one of the movie poster we even see a kind of robotic halo around his head. However, the analysis of the creator through the concept of the uncanny is much more interesting and allows us to explain how the viewer experiences this phenomenon together with the characters of the film.
The first feeling of the uncanny in the creator is related to the humanity of the simulants, so fiercely defended by Nirmata, and is based on the so-called uncanny valley. It involves experiencing or seeing a robot, a machine, or some kind of artificial intelligence program behaving very similarly to a human, but not identically. We see this phenomenon in a weaker version when, for example, children are hugged, carried, or protected by robots, and in a much more intense version in one of the early scenes after the prologue, when in the nuclear explosion zone where Los Angeles used to be, the main character, Joshua, and his companion find the remains of a robot which suddenly comes to life, writhing like a human in agony, shouting out the names of his loved ones in panic. This creates in both the woman and the audience an unpleasant and conflicting feeling of something that is well known to us, such as human emotions, a feeling of panic, and at the same time something disturbing and inhuman.
We experience a similar type of anxiety after the death of a soldier. We first spend some time with him and get to know him a little better. Then he is killed only to be resurrected for a short while in a different body, that of a simulant. The emotions which we have just seen in his own human form are disturbingly transferred to a robotic body. The feeling of the uncanny is also evoked in the audience and the main character during a short flashback in which Joshua sees his dead wife Maya in the street. He runs after her, only to see another woman who also looks like Maya. Finally, after a brief moment of disorientation and confusion, together with Joshua we realize that his wife has given everything to her artificially created children, including her appearance, which, as it turns out, anyone can scan and donate to the artificial intelligence, which in itself, when we think about it more deeply, causes some level of anxiety.
One of the main manifestations of the uncanny is the feeling that we are not alone, that someone or something is watching us. And in most films it is artificial intelligence. AI is what watches us, controls us, and follows us. And its growing ubiquity increases our fear of being under constant surveillance. We see examples of this type of uncanny in A Space Odyssey, Terminator, and The Matrix, where artificial intelligence is the antagonist that does not leave the protagonist alone, even in usually safe places. In The Creator, however, it is the opposite. Nomad, a ship that suddenly appears in the sky, targeting subsequent simulants, does not leave them alone. It makes the robots feel under constant surveillance. And this is an extremely innovative approach to this topic. It's a pity that it wasn't highlighted even more.
The phenomenon of the uncanny has many levels, and it appears in many film productions. However, its strength and uniqueness lie in the fact that we ourselves experience it from time to time and are haunted by it. And therefore, we can experience a film screening or any other work of art that contains this effect much more actively, translating the experience of the uncanny into testing our own boundaries, asking ourselves where the machine ends and the human begins.
That's all for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.